brought some interesting things with you today.
Yes! I brought a bucket and a watering pail.
Wow!
Yeah.
Are you thinking you're going to plant some things?
Yes!
Well-
Yes. I want to plant a garden.
A garden?
Yep.
Well, while you're doing that, maybe we could work on the Gardener Award.
Oh, yes! That would be great!
Doesn't that sound like a good idea?
Yep.
So do you know what a gardener does or what a gardener is? What does that mean?
Well, they prepare the soil, and then they plant the seeds, and then they make sure that everything is taken care of, like they cover the seeds with blankets when it snows in May, and then they water it, and they weed it, and then they get to enjoy the flowers or the vegetables or the fruits that they planted.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So a gardener is really somebody who tends and cultivates a garden
Yeah.
as a pastime or somebody who does it as a job.
Yeah.
Yeah, and their major job is to know when to plant things,
Sure.
what temperatures things need, what conditions are favorable for different plants,
Oh,
and they need to help maintain the health of the garden so that when it comes time to harvest the things that are in the garden, there's something to bring home.
yeah. Ooh. Yes.
That sounds like a good idea, right?
Yeah, sounds like a lot of work.
Gardening is a lot of work, but it's also really rewarding.
Yeah.
Because, coming home in the fall and having all those fresh fruits and vegetables, or putting them up, sometimes people do some canning or some freezing, and having those good vegetables all winter long, that's a really good feeling.
Yeah. My dad plants a vegetable garden, and we get to eat the carrots and
Yeah.
the beets and the cucumbers and the peppers and asparagus and broccoli and kale and so much good stuff. Tomatoes. I love the tomatoes. I love eating vegetables from the garden.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Agreed. So, did you know that there are some gardens that are mentioned in the Bible?
Wait. The Garden of Eden.
Yeah, that's one of them.
Yeah.
So the Garden of Eden is in Genesis 2, verses 8 and 9. Should we look that up?
Yes, let's
Okay.
do it.
Genesis 2.
Genesis is the first book of the Bible. It's at the beginning. In fact, Genesis means the beginning. Genesis 2, 8, and 9. It says, "The Lord God had planted a garden in the east of Eden. He put in the garden the man he had formed. The Lord God made every kind of tree grow out of the garden. The trees were pleasing to look at." Oh, I bet they were beautiful.
I bet they were.
Their fruit was good to eat. Oh, I bet it was so good. There were 2 trees in the middle of the garden. One of them had fruit that let people live forever. Whoa.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, huh?
The other had fruit that let people tell the difference between good and evil. Uh-oh.
Yeah. Not so good. We know what happened at the end of this story, don't we?
We do know what happened. I wish they had chosen the fruit that let them live forever.
I think that would have been a really good idea.
Yeah.
So this is the first garden that the Bible talks about, is the Garden of Eden. God was a gardener. He made the very first garden.
Wow.
And then he asked Adam and Eve to take care of it.
Oh. They didn't do a very good job.
Well, they definitely could have done better.
Sure.
Yeah. So the second garden is
The Garden of Gethsemane.
Yeah, it's the Garden of
Yeah.
Gethsemane. So that garden, we find that in Matthew 26, 36 through 38.
That's the New Testament. But Matthew is the first book of the New Testament. Yep,
Right.
yep.
All right, so Matthew 26, 36 through 38.
It says, Then Jesus went with his disciples to a place called Gethsemane. He said to them, Sit here while I go over there and pray. He took Peter and the two sons of Zebedee along with him. He began to be sad and troubled. Oh. Then he said to them, My soul is very sad. I feel close to death. Stay here. Watch with me. That's the garden where Jesus went to pray.
It is the garden where
Yeah.
Jesus went to pray. Jesus spent a lot of time praying in this garden.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? I don't think that's a bad idea. In fact, you could spend time praying in your garden too.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it might be a little weird praying next to your tomatoes, but if you had a flower garden or just a really quiet, peaceful place, that's a great place to pray.
Yeah, I'm going to try that.
Yeah, I think it's a
Yeah.
good idea.
Mhm.
All right. Now, there is one other garden that's listed in the Bible.
Oh. I can't think of that one.
Well, this one is in Revelation, and
Oh,
it's
that's the last book of the New Testament. We have spanned the whole Bible. The beginning, the middle, and now the end.
yeah, this book is about the heavenly garden. Should we look at it?
I bet that one's pretty with really good fruit as well.
I think you're probably right.
Yeah.
All right. Revelation 22, verses 1 and 2.
All right. Oh, okay. It says, Then the angel showed me the river of the water of life. It was clear as crystal. Oh. It flowed from the throne of God and of the Lamb. It flowed down the middle of the city's main street. On each side of the river stood the tree of life, bearing 12 crops of fruit. Whoa, that is a lot of fruit for one tree. And I bet it's all so delicious. Oh, man. Okay, I gotta keep going. Sorry, I got distracted. Its fruit was ripe every month. The leaves of the tree bring healing to the nations. That sounds like an amazing tree.
I think it would be really cool to get fruit from a tree every month of the year. What do you think about this tree? What do you think about this garden?
I think I want to try all 12 fruit at the same time. Just one big bite.
Fair enough. I think the best thing about this garden, this heavenly garden, is that Jesus will be there with us.
I know. Oh, I can't wait, Miss Becky.
Oh, it's going to be such a good day, and I hope that you're there with me.
I will be. I can't wait.
All right.
Let's eat fruit together.
Okay, we will meet there. Do you guys want to meet there with us?
Yes. You should meet us there too. We'll all eat fruit
Good plan.
with Jesus. We'll eat fruit with Jesus. He can tell us which is the best.
Well, what are some different types of gardens? We talked about 3 gardens in the Bible. Can we think of 3 different gardens that we have here on earth? So
I have a stone garden. That one's easy to take care of.
that one's easy to take care of.
Yep.
Sure. How about, when I was a little girl, my dad had a bog, and he had...
Wait. What's a bog? Do you know what a bog is? Because it sounds kind of like a ball, but a log, and it's a bog. I don't know what that is.
Well, a bog is a really swampy area. And so he had a barrel, and he cut it in half, and he had all his kind of wet, watery plants in there. And I don't know, a couple of times a month, he'd stick the hose in the bog in that barrel, and he'd fill it all up with water, and if you poked it, it was like really squishy in there.
Why?
Because my dad really likes biology things. I don't know.
Did you get to eat food from the bog?
Nope.
Did you get pretty flowers from the bog?
Nope. It had a Venus flytrap in it.
He just watered it
Yep.
in a barrel.
Yep. Outside.
I'm confused.
Well, there are some gardens that are water gardens, and that was a garden that used a lot of water. It had just kind of water plants in it.
Huh.
You can ask him about it sometime.
I might. Yeah, I might have to.
Okay, well, what are some other
Did
gardens?
animals live in there?
Just outside insects.
So he made an insect habitat.
Sure.
He made a mosquito home. I'm so confused. Okay, next one is fruits and vegetable garden.
Good.
Check,
Fruits and
check,
vegetables.
check.
Yep, good. And how about a flower garden?
Yes, I like flower gardens.
Flower gardens.
My mom has a
pretty
flower
cool.
garden. She doesn't like it when I pick flowers from her garden.
Yeah, probably not. All right.
Public service announcement. Do not pick flowers from your mother's garden or your grandmother's garden or your neighbor's garden.
Without permission.
Without permission. No, yep. You should always ask.
Do you have some experience in this?
I do. I got in trouble.
All right. How about gardens in containers? Have you ever seen a garden in a box on the side of a house? Or sometimes people will put a tomato plant in like a big 5-gallon bucket.
Oh, yeah.
Peppers or
Yeah,
those
we
kind of things?
put our cherry tomato plants in a big pot on the deck, so we don't have to go very far to eat the tomatoes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's a special kind of garden too.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that was different. Ooh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool, huh?
Okay,
All
yes.
kinds of different gardens that we can plant.
Yes.
All right. Now, here is, I think probably the funnest thing. I saw that you brought a pail for weeds.
I
and
did,
And you
yeah.
brought a watering can with you.
Yep.
I brought some things that we need for gardening too. Do you want to see what they are?
I do.
All right.
I gotta make sure I have all my supplies.
All right. So I have this. Do you know what this is?
Is it a rake?
It is a rake. It's a gardening rake. So it looks a little different than a leaf rake. But
Yeah.
you can use it to either make rows in the garden to plant, or you can use it to pack down the rows so that there's dirt on top of the seeds. So this tool is really useful in a big garden.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I might need one of those.
Yeah. Well, this one looks like it might be just your size.
I think that is just my size. Can I borrow that when you're done?
You probably can.
Oh, thanks.
Okay, so the next tool is a spade. Now, normally this would be a little hand tool. It's got a kind of long handle on this one, so we'll just pretend like it does it. But
Okay.
a spade we use to dig a hole and
Plant things.
plant things. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
So just it's narrow, so you aren't moving a lot of dirt, and you can put new plants into the hole.
Sure, yeah, okay.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, and then here's.
Do you think my mom would be upset if I used her kitchen spatula for that?
I do. Yeah, I do think she might not like that very
No?
much.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay, so I want to
Okay.
show you these two. So this is the spade, and then do you see this one? This one's a lot wider.
Is that a shovel?
This is a shovel.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
what do we use
Yep,
this
yep,
one
yep.
for?
Digging? Bigger holes than
Digging.
the spade. Spade is for little holes to plant things in. Shovels are for bigger holes, like maybe trees versus plants.
Sure.
Yeah.
Trees versus plants. You might also use a shovel if you wanted to turn a bunch of the soil in your garden, right? You didn't have a tractor or a rototiller and you wanted to soppen up the
Oh,
soil.
Good.
You
I
could,
might need that because I planted chives a few years back and they have taken over my garden. Too many chives. Does anyone need onions, chives, anything like that? Just come get them.
So that's what this guy is for. So a big wide shovel like this, you could use to make a bigger hole or to turn the soil.
Okay.
To get some air in there.
I need that.
That's kind of important. Now, okay, so the next thing I want to show you or talk about is these. Now, these are kind of big pots compared to the other things that we've been working in. But what do you think we use these for?
To plant things in?
Yeah. So here in Vermont or in New England, we often start our gardens inside.
Yeah, 'cause it stays cold for a while. Sometimes it'll fake you out and make you think that it's gonna be warm, and then a couple days later it gets cold and frosts and snows sometimes. Yep, that's true.
So can you tell? I'll show you this one. Can you tell what these are made out of?
Smells like cardboard.
Yeah, it is cardboard.
Yeah.
So these are compostable pots. So what you can do with these guys is you can plant your seeds in them, and then when you get ready to put them in the garden, you can put the whole pot right in the garden.
Plump.
Yep. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that is neat.
So there's some pros and cons, right? When you put this in the garden, then you don't have a pot anymore. But you
can't use it next year.
Right, but you don't have to store them all year either, and it makes planting really easy.
I bet it does.
So that's a kind of good idea.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
And then, I have one more thing that everybody finds in the garden. Okay?
Weeds, dandelions, insects, worms. That's not what I was thinking. That's a rock.
A rock. So
in New England, we grow rocks.
We do grow rocks in New England.
You can pull them out every year, and every year there is a bunch more. It is true, yeah.
You're right. Yep. So what do you do with the rocks in your garden?
We put them in the wheelbarrow, and then we put them on the stone wall if they're big enough.
Yeah. So that's a great thing to do with a rock. You could make a border around your garden. You could make a path. We throw ours over the bank because we grow so many rocks that we got sick of doing things with them. So we just put them over the bank.
Sure.
Yeah.
You probably have a stone wall over your bank by now.
I might have a stone wall over my bank. Okay. So now that we kind of have an idea about tools that we might use in our garden, types of gardens.
Sure.
What I want you to do is I want you to decide what kind of garden you want to take care of, and then plant a garden, so either one outside or one in a pot, one in a window box, one inside, or even one in a container like a little terrarium, and take care of that garden.
Oh, wow, yeah. Okay. Well, I was gonna go plant some tomatoes, I think.
Okay.
I want a tomato plant.
Okay, a tomato plant? That sounds great. Are you going to put that in a pot, or are you going to put it out in the garden, outside on the ground?
I think I was going to put it outside in the ground once I move some of the chives out of the way.
All right.
Yep.
That sounds like a pretty good plan.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's what we need to do next. We need to take care of a plant or a garden and see how it grows all summer.
Okay, I can do that. Yep.
And then when the summer is over, we want to share a plant or a flower or something from your garden with a family or a friend or a neighbor, or you can color a picture of a flower and give it to them.
Oh, ooh, okay, yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. And that's...
Can I draw it for Louie?
Sure.
Or can I share my tomatoes with Louie?
You could share your tomatoes with
I bet Louie would like my tomatoes. Louie, would you like me to share my tomatoes with you? They're gonna be delicious. He can't wait.
All right.
Yep.
Well, those are the things that we need to do. So the big next thing that we need to do is to decide what kind of gardens we want to plant. So we need to talk with you need to talk with your parents.
Okay.
And figure out what they think you can plant, what makes sense in your area, and then come up with a plan and plant some seeds or get some starter plants from the store and get your gardens growing.
Okay.
Sound like a plan?
Yep.
All right, let's go work on that.
Okay, yep. I'm gonna go right now. You ready?
Yep.
Okay.
See you
let's
later,
say goodbye.
guys.
Bye, guys.